Gemini just released 3 brand new models and they are absolutely mind-blowing. In fact, I think that these are going to change the way that you interact with all of Google's products forever, because now you could directly access apps with Gemini and you could even add reasoning on top of it. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to access these 3 new models and 7 different use cases you could start using today to improve your life. Okay, now in order to actually access this, here's what you need to do. All you need to do is come into Gemini. You're going to come right here and you are going to see these 3 new reasoning models. This is the first one right here, 2.0 Flash Thinking Experimental, and this is the one that I would use on a mobile device if you need multi-step reasoning. This next one right here is 2.0 Flash Thinking Experimental with apps, and this is how you're going to be able to reason across YouTube, Maps, and Search, and this is crazy. This has so many different use cases you will not believe. And then the final one is going to be 2.0 Experimental, which is going to be what I would use if you're on a computer and you need multi-step reasoning. Remember what DeepSeek looks like, where it tells you how it thinks and how ChatGPT does that? Well, now this does it, but even more powerful, you can interact across a bunch of Google's different tools like YouTube, Maps, and Search. Now, before I get into those use cases, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to learn about the latest and greatest AI tools and exactly how to use them. I upload videos every week and you're not going to want to miss them. Use case number 1 is going to be using this to completely revolutionize how you interact with YouTube. Let's say that you wanted to learn about something. In fact, you could try to learn about anything. Personally, I want to know a little bit more about how the TikTok algorithm works. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over to Gemini right here and I'm going to type in the prompt. I want you to look up the most recent YouTube videos about the TikTok algorithm and give me the 5 principles that they all have in common. Now, the reason that I'm asking it to give me the 5 principles that they all have in common is because I want to see the common threads amongst all the videos about this topic. And again, you can do this for anything. So I type this in right here, and now what you're going to be able to do is you are going to be able to see that this is actually going through, and it literally says, first, I need to find the recent videos on the TikTok algorithm. I'm going to use Google search, and then I can use YouTube to find the videos. And if I have any specific questions, I can go through that. So this literally shows you how it's thinking. It shows you how it accesses YouTube. It goes through and finds a bunch of different points that all of these different videos talk about. And boom, it literally goes through and tells me exactly what I need to be prioritizing if I wanted to know more about the TikTok algorithm. Now, another thing that I could do is I could say, find me YouTube videos about Super Bowl predictions. Now, this will go through and find me different videos about Super Bowl predictions. Now, this goes through and it's thinking, and it shows me all of these different videos here, and then it actually references all these videos here. Now, I can say, what are they saying? And then this will go through and literally summarize all of those different videos. So this says my plan is to use YouTube to get a summary of each of the videos I listed. I could synthesize the summaries, and then this actually goes through and this does this for each of the videos. And you can have this go through comments. You can have this do so many different things that are absolutely mind-blowing, because now you can literally have this interact with YouTube. Now, use case number 2 is going to give you more accurate responses when you try to find reviews on something, because let's face it, instead of scanning through hundreds of reviews or dozens of reviews, you need to be able to just interact with them and see exactly what's right, exactly what's wrong, and if some of them are fake or if there's a bias. Check this out. For example, here's a prompt that I would use in order to do this. I say, what do the reviews say about Boom Boom Sticks, the latest viral TikTok product? I want you to search for reviews on Google and search on YouTube to give me a balanced perspective, because I don't know about you, but whenever I search for reviews on Google, I see a bunch of fake websites or I see a bunch of fake reviews. So sometimes I need to come to YouTube videos in order to actually get a real review about something. So if we do a search for this, this is going to go through and you could see it actually searching YouTube right here. And then it's going to go through and actually search on Google for this. And again, this is going to give us a more balanced perspective. So this literally goes through the steps and exactly what this is doing right here. And this is incredible that this is actually able to do this and interact with YouTube, because if you tried to do this on DeepSeek or you tried to do this on ChatGPT, it wouldn't be able to interact with YouTube. But obviously, Gemini has a very unique perspective where they have all these different apps that they can seamlessly integrate this with. Now, this goes through and actually gives me exactly what the positive reviews are, what the mixed reviews are, what the negative reviews are, what the overstated hype is, gives me the different YouTube reviews, and I can ask it for different things here. For example, maybe I had a follow-up and I want to ask it, what about pricing? How many reviews mention that? And this is going to go through and look and see how many of the different reviews actually say something about pricing. Or what I could get this to do is I could have this go through and I could ask it what all of the 1-star reviews have in common, or what all of the 2-star reviews have in common, so I can see whether or not the thing that somebody that struggled and gave a 1 or 2-star review for this product, if that thing actually matters to me, because maybe it doesn't. For example, with the price right here, this says that there are a lot of reviews that say that it is a bit pricey, but guess what? I can now actually have this go through and say, find me a listing for this that's cheaper than 1995. And guess what this is going to do? This is going to go through and this is going to do a Google search, and it is going to find me listings for this product that are less than what the reviews were saying were a little bit pricey. Now, this is literally going to go through, and this goes through and gives me links to a bunch of different websites here. And it says, if you were specifically looking for Boom Boom Sticks, the TikTok shop listed at $18.90, so it might be worth investigating further, because this literally tells me the TikTok shop has the cheapest listing on this. Now, if I go to TikTok, what I'm going to be able to see, people are actually selling this for like $10. Now, this next use case is going to be incredibly useful. So this next use case is something that I wish I had a long time ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a photo to Gemini right now, and I'm using 2.0 flash thinking with experimental with apps. So I'm uploading a photo right now of this city, and I'm going to ask it, what city is this? You can do this with clothing. You could do this with anything, but this is going to go through and this is going to figure out exactly what I just uploaded here. And it knew that this was Memphis, Tennessee. You could ask this about mountains. You can ask it about bed sheets. You could ask it about what kind of watch this is. You can literally ask this about anything, because it accesses both search and maps and will be able to figure out where people are, what they're doing. And this is incredibly useful if you've ever come across a photo and wondered where it was or what it was. Maybe you find a spider, maybe you find a bug, maybe you find a plant and you don't know if it's poisonous. You can literally do a search for this. And this is incredibly useful whether you're on a mobile device or if you are on your computer. Now, if you're tired of researching things, or you feel like you have to go through so many different searches on Google just to get an answer to your questions, you're really going to love this use case. But after this one, there are going to be 2 more, and these are going to be mind-blowing and completely change the way that you interact with the internet. For example, let's say that I wanted to look something up. Like personally, I'm pretty interested in why MicroStrategy has paused their Bitcoin buying. So what I say to this is, I need you to research for me why MicroStrategy has currently paused their Bitcoin buying and whether or not you think they're going to resume it before February 10th at 11:59 p.m. Walk me through why you believe that and what your findings show. Now, what I just did was I did a search for this. And this is going to go through and this is going to search through several different articles in order to figure this out. It literally creates a plan here that it is going to walk through. And now, instead of me having to go and look at 10 articles and try to figure out what I think about this thing, I don't have to do that. Why? Because Gemini is going to do that for me, and then I can ask it questions. So what this says is that it's unlikely that MicroStrategy will resume buying Bitcoin before February 10th at 11:59 p.m. because it's a short time frame. There's no indication of an immediate resumption, their earnings period, and then it goes through why I believe they will eventually resume buying. So now I can ask it, when do you think they'll resume this? And this is going to go through, and now I can have a conversation with this. And this is great because I am sure that there are so many topics that you might talk about or think about that you don't have a conversation with everybody with. Well, now you literally have this genius in your pocket that can access the internet, can access everything else everybody else has said about a topic, and you can ask it questions and literally have a conversation. So I asked it this, and it says that after earnings report, there's going to be a quiet period, waiting for favorable market conditions. So it literally goes through and estimates a time period, and it says that they did this on February 5th, which is great. So after February 10th, they might consider buying again. Now, for these next few use cases, we're going to change to using the other 2 models. Now, a lot of people ask me the question of when they should be using the Pro model versus when they should be using the Flash model, and I'm going to break it down for you very simply. You're going to want to use the Pro model if you're on a computer or if you are trying to get an answer that you need to be incredibly accurate. If you're just doing something quickly, then I would recommend that you use the Flash model, or if you're on a mobile device, because it'll give you way quicker responses. So what we're going to do for this next use case is we're going to come up here and and we're going to change this over to 2.0 Pro Experimental. Why? Because I'm going to be asking this to help me reason through a purchase. And you can do this literally for anything. Let's say that you want to purchase something, or maybe you've been thinking about buying a stock or a career change, or breaking up with your girlfriend, or doing anything. You can literally now ask Gemini to think through this with you. For example, I'm going to say something about buying a new application like a washing machine, but I'm overwhelmed by the choices. So I'm going to say to Gemini, I am buying a new washing machine and don't want to spend more than $1,500. Can you please walk me through which one you'd recommend? I am overwhelmed with all of the decisions that I have to make and all of the choices that I have. It's only me and my girlfriend using it, and we'd love to get a dryer too. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to delete that right there, and we're going to type this in. Now this is going to go through and look at this. This is really, really crazy. So this is literally going to go through, and this is going to think about all these different things that I personally don't want to think about. For example, front load, or do we get a top load? And then it goes through all the pros and the cons. With a dryer, are we going to have it be electric, or are we going to have it be gas? It goes through all of the different pros and cons. It goes through a budget breakdown here and how much each of these are typically going to cost and which brands are typically the best. So this literally is going to go through, and this is going to do all of this thinking for me. It's going to do all of this reasoning for me, because otherwise I would have literally had to think about all this stuff. And this gives me final recommendations here that I can go through and see, okay, I should be searching at the big box stores. Or maybe I want to go with top load because it's more efficient. Or maybe I want to go with top load because it's a budget saver. And it literally breaks down what the different costs will be, what the sizes will be, all these different things, so that I can now say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then go and find me this. And again, I can come back over here to 2.0 Flash Thinking Experimental with apps and have it do searches and find me exactly where it would be around my location where I am currently located right now. And this is crazy. And again, I did this for a washing machine example. You could do this for career choices. You could do this for how you think about things. You could do this for what you want to go to school for, what you want to do for work, what you should do in your business. Maybe you upload a photo of your calendar to this and say, hey, I want you to think through how I can reorganize my day to get more done. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I hate interacting with any type of app that has a map on it. It could be Google Maps, it could be Apple Maps. I don't like them all because they're not very efficient. But guess what? This next use case completely gets rid of the use cases for ever opening up maps ever again. So I went through and asked Gemini exactly what it could do on Google Maps, and then it walked me through a bunch of different things here. For example, organizing information. For example, I could get navigation on here. I could get real-time traffic updates. I could get alternate routes. I could get lane guidance. I could get speed trap alerts. I can literally get a bunch of different things, schedule trips. I can search for things, exploration, discovery, and I could have it find me information about places and businesses and all this different stuff. So one of the things that I did down here was ask it about reservations for Carbone in Miami. Now, it wasn't actually able to figure this out, but what was incredibly useful was I asked it, I'm at the Hard Rock in Tampa, where's the nearest charging station so that I can charge my Tesla? And it literally brought up a map here with all of the different charging stations. Now, you could do this for restaurants. You could do this for gyms. You could do this for anything you would otherwise have to go search for on a map. Or let's say that you were going to be planning a trip. Instead of going through and actually planning out that trip, you could say something along the lines of, I'm going to Scottsdale. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this, but I don't want to leave 10 miles from where I'm staying. Where should I stay so that I can walk to all these places, or so that I can ride my bike to all these places, or Uber to all these places, whatever the case is. And this is mind-blowing because, again, this is going to take so much manual thinking that we would normally have to do, be able to do this and just ask it a question and boom, it'll tell you, hey, go here because it's only 0.1 miles away. Now, if you like this video, you're going to love this video right here that walks you through a free AI app store where you can access over 500,000 different AI tools for basically any task. I'll see you over there.